Hello, and welcome to the Bearded Respect,
What's up,
episode
everyone?
130. Whew. Wow, it seems like forever.
That it is.
Yeah, they add up quick.
Jason, you want to welcome these people in the chat?
Yeah, now according to my phone, we had two on here before Phil, so I'm going to say A to B Cause, he was first, and John Fox was second.
What's up, Because? What's up, Foxy?
And now we got Phil conspiring on the budget.
What's up, Phil?
Hey, Phil.
Welcome, Phil.
I got Whiskers and Whiskey.
Hello there.
What's up, Whiskers?
Hello there.
There's JP. Hey, JP.
JP.
Got him!
We got Triple B. Hey,
What's up,
Scott.
A triple B.
No way.
You got Jacob. Jacked up
Hey,
Leatherworks. Hey, Jacob.
Jacob.
Boom.
What's up, Jacob?
The man,
Hey,
the
brother.
myth, the legend. Dan C. Hey, Dan.
What's up, Dan?
Hey, welcome.
Hello.
And we got Mrs. Bruce City. Hey, Becky.
Yeah, hello, honey.
What's up, Becky?
Hello, Becky.
Hey, Ray. 20 Spray Ray.
Hey,
What's up?
What's up, Ray?
Hey, Jillian. Jillian Phelps.
how you doing?
Oh, wait a
Jillian.
second.
Hello.
I can't see. There's Chris. True North. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
What's up, Chris?
No.
There's Dynamite.
I don't have friends. I got family.
What's up, Tyler?
How you doing?
JB gets you wrecked. Hey, JB.
Yeah.
Hello, neighbor.
Yo.
There's Amber. Hey, Amber.
Amber.
Hello there, children.
Tony T.
How you doing,
Tony.
Tony?
What's up, TT?
Say hello to my little friend.
There's Brad.
You doing, Brad?
Brad.
What's up, Brad?
Oh. There's DQ. Hey, D. Been a while.
You?
Good to see you.
Hello,
Welcome back.
hello, DQ. What's up?
No way.
There's Frick and Frack. Hey, Bob and Terry.
What's up, Bob? Terry?
Former Intercontinental Champion of the World, Macho Man Randy
Nothing
Savage.
means nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing means nothing.
Nothing means nothing. What do you mean?
Robert. Robert Allen. Hey,
Doing,
Robert.
Robert?
What's up, Mr. Allen?
Hello.
Michael, good to see you, Michael.
Hello, neighbor.
What's up?
How you doing?
John Drennan.
On.
What's up, John?
I'm trying.
A lot of comments to get through.
I feel like we welcomed
Mark?
like 50 people.
Hey, Mark.
What's up, Mark?
Hey, Mark.
Put some clothes on.
E-Rock. Hey, E.
Hey, E, how you doing?
E-Rock. I hope you're having good weather over there.
Yeah.
What did he say?
I think that's about everyone.
So there's a lot of chatting going on.
For those that caught the Dan C. Spirit Advice live last night, I've already made my first clip, a sneak peek, my first trim. As you can see, got rid of quite a bit of transparency,
I see that.
and it's right at 12 inches. So I'm gonna do probably another clip tomorrow.
Wow.
Contest is Saturday, so. Yes, I got it.
Brad wants to know if you got a haircut. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
But very good advice last night on Beard Advice Live.
Oh, come on.
And from the chat and from Dan C. Is that
I'm
everyone?
gonna have to catch that. Yeah, I'm all caught up.
Cool.
Yeah, I need a little bit of that myself. I need to get a little trim. But I'll just stay like that and you can't see the bottom, right?
I normally don't care. The only time I do it is when there's a competition. Any other time, I just let it grow. And, you know. it
Well,
is what it is.
that's the last time I got a trim was in Tennessee,
Yeah.
last September. That's the
Oh,
last
okay.
time I got a trim.
I've had one since.
Yeah.
Probably overdue for one.
All right.
Okay.
Anything to announce before we bring in our guest?
I don't think so.
Cool. Let me get my questions ready.
All right. Well, without further ado, why don't we bring our guest on the show?
Oh man.
Dr. Nick.
Welcome
What's
to
up,
the
guys?
Bearded Respect.
Well, I thank you, gentlemen.
Yes.
It's it's like a Tuesday reunion here. It's like I see so many of our friends. It's awesome. I was like, oh man, wonder who's gonna be here. It's like, oh, it's all my buddies.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and you get a pretty good showing for afternoon or morning. I guess it's a morning show, right?
Oh, it's 1 p.m. Eastern, but man,
Morning for me.
Tell me about it. I'm as surprised as you are. It's like it turned into like a lunchtime thing for some people, and
Yeah.
an excuse to go sit outside or take a break from work. And I was definitely skeptical about the time slot, but it's proven to be, you know, beneficial for a lot of people that sometimes can't do stuff at night.
Yeah, there he is.
I mean,
Man, that's the legend.
Man, Beard's looking good, dude. You're gonna kill it at that competition this weekend.
We'll see.
looking strong. Oh man, what's up, Dan? Got
Face.
we got Dan in here. We got my wife in here. We got all kinds of all our crew from Doctor's Orders. What's up?
Yeah.
Frickin' frack. Oh, and Dynamite, what's going on, man? I was in the backstage area where they keep you in the cage, you know, so you're, you know, keep you in quiet time for a little while while it's starting up. And I was seeing everybody pop up, and I was like, oh man, this is great.
All right. So you want to get into 5 questions, Scott?
Sure.
Oh boy.
All right, Dr. Nick, tell us your favorite toy as a child. What was that one toy that you always played with?
Oh man. All right. Shoot, man. I'm a nerd through and through. So it would have had to have been my computer, whichever one it was at the time. I think that probably went on for a long time. If it had to be a toy though, shoot. Probably like my old school Game Boy. That was like when I wasn't on the computer. It's like kids today, I guess. I can't really talk bad about them because there I was as a kid, computer straight to the Game Boy.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
There it is. Nick's a nerd.
So the Dr. Nick's Amazing Man Stuff is the name of the company. 2-part question. Is this the original name of the company, and how did you formulate this name?
So everyone always asks if it's a play off of The Simpsons, like Dr. Nick, and I definitely after everyone asking that question, of course, I come into rooms full of people and say hello everybody, and I just wait for someone to say hi, Dr. Nick. But you know what it was actually? There's actually like we wanted to kind of do the apothecary style of stuff, you know, but to me it was too stuffy, you know what I mean? And I wanted it to be having something that was kind of light and airy about the brand, although being sort of serious, right? And prescriptive. So Dr. Nick's worked. My nickname as a kid, he'd asked about childhood toys, was Doc. So my brother called me Doc, my mom called me Doc, and the reason for that is, again, I was a nerd. So after Back to the Future came out, they're like, oh man, you're gonna grow up and be like that Doc guy someday. You're gonna be like the doctor. And well, I guess they weren't that far off, mad scientist of sorts, but Amazing Man Stuff was just sort of a natural follow-on to it. We kind of kicked around just a bunch of stuff at the time with friends and kind of talked about it. And it's like, how about Dr. Nick's? How about Classy in Black? How about Amazing Man Stuff? And we're like, well, how about Dr. Nick's like Amazing Man Stuff? And we're like, oh, that's a mouthful. And at first I was like, that's too long of a name. But everyone just loved it. Everyone just kept talking about the stuff I was making and referring to it as Dr. Nick's Amazing Man Stuff. So there it was. It stuck. It was kind of a group consensus, I suppose.
Okay. Cool.
Not nearly as logical as Chris with True North, who, by the way, I was on the Bearded Respect, so I had to make sure I was showing respect to my bearded brothers.
Oh, nice.
And we were just talking about it on Tuesday, you know. But it was, we had to rock it tonight. Bearded Respect have to show respect.
What is the favorite thing that you love about where you live?
About where I live. Well,
What is your favorite thing?
it's sort of a loaded question because I grew up on Kauai, and I'm only in the Northeast because of poor decision-making skills and bad life choices. So I think if I had to pretend I was here, I came here by choice, I would have to say just fall. I mean, I like fall and spring here is like it's almost worth enduring pollen season, otherwise known as summer, and the dark death, which is also lovingly referred to as winter. And so I think both of those are kind of, I don't know, I guess spring and fall make it worth it to deal with the rest of it up here. So
Okay.
I love that. And we're right by the coast here. So it's kind of, it's nice.
Yeah. Okay. How long have you lived there?
I've lived here since 2011.
Okay.
So 13 years. It's actually the longest I've ever lived anywhere.
Yeah, because you've moved around a lot, right?
I have. I've moved around a ton. And I've never had, like, before this, I've never had, I think I've had Christmas or birthdays, for example, like in the same place with the same group of people more than, I think my record before this was 5 years. So it's pretty cool. It's like I almost have transplanted roots at this point. Like the plant has moved. It's gone. We've given it new soil a couple of times. It's in there now. That's.
And the Dr. Nick's company, it's been around since 2015, right? That's when.
Since when?
2015. Is that
Yep.
when you? Yeah.
Yep. So it was originally 2015, and then took a little hiatus. Just things got crazy. It was actually funny. I started Dr. Nick's and a consulting company at the same time, and I'm like, all right, whichever one pays the bills first, I got to focus on that for a little bit. And so, surprise, surprise, consulting paid the bills, and so I had to focus on that for a little bit. But my wife, Jill, had the idea. Girlfriend at the time. She wanted to take it over and take over production and relaunch it, and she's killed it ever since.
So you have a Dr. Nick's consulting company?
No, it's called Moonrock Consulting.
Oh, okay.
All right. It should be called Dr. Nick's Consulting, though. That would have worked out great. But yeah,
Well, I would have wondered if you're getting calls from like doctors,
Yeah, I'm definitely not that kind of doctor. So they'd be SOL.
Yeah.
They got me on the phone. I would definitely be a walking, talking malpractice lawsuit waiting to happen.
Yeah. One thing that, when I first found your company a few years ago, one thing that I saw that you were doing, which I thought was really cool, is donating beard wash to the homeless. How many bottles of beard wash have you donated?
Well, body wash. And
body wash. Okay, body wash.
Yeah. We every once in a while we do sneak some face washes and beard washes in there too, which is cool. Total, well, just the last donation ended up being. We talked about it on the stream, and I had the numbers in front of me. I think it was close to 15 gallons. So I mean, it was sizable. They're going to keep that shelter will definitely be stocked up for quite a while. But we've donated around Christmas time and done some cool stuff for the guys down there at the group homes. Brought over turkeys and stuff like that, and they're always, when they know we're coming and they're out with body wash. Last time we were there in one of the group homes, the guy was like, "Oh man, I'm glad you guys got here." He's like, "I was waiting to take a shower before work so I could use the body wash coming in." He's like, "They got the swab stuff up there right now. It's real bad." But no, it's been a lot of fun. Like those it's just good people, and they really, really appreciate it. You know what I mean? That's what does it. It's just cool.
Yeah. The cleanest guys around.
You know what? I mean, so I mean, we work with there's been a couple of guys that have gone through it too. Like we talk to them about when they get someone through like a job, retraining program, kind of getting people back out into the world, trying to get them self-sufficient. I asked the lady, I was like, "What's the first thing you tell a guy with a beard to do before you send him on his first interview. She's like, oh, shave the beard. And I was like, well, think about that for a second. You know, like you're taking a guy who is in a situation that obviously he's not enjoying, you know, and he's trying to get back on his feet. And now you're telling him to go to his first day of work looking like a different person that he doesn't recognize in the mirror. You know, I'm like, what if we could take those guys and get them a good style and trim, and we give them the products they need to take care of their beard after they leave the chair, and the barber, donates his time and we donate the products. And she's like, oh, we'll do it. Yeah. So we've saved a number of beards now too. I know that for a fact because my buddy Nate tells me every once in a while when you get somebody walking in.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, everyone here knows how it feels to get a nice fresh cut and to look your best. And if you want a beard, you want to keep it, you know, even if you're going for a job, but just make it look presentable.
I mean, I couldn't imagine like going in front of a new group of people that I don't know, and at the same time, you know, not feeling like myself anyway because I don't have a beard. I mean, that'd be jarring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Can you imagine waking up in the morning and looking in the bathroom mirror and no beard?
I have those nightmares occasionally.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, or you have like one side or just like patches.
Oh, yeah. And you're like, what'd I do at the stove? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Nightmare material. Sorry about that.
So, Nick, you can only pick one thing from your bucket list. What would it be? You only get to do one thing from your bucket list. What's it going to be?
Oh, boy. These are tough questions. One thing. Well, you know what? It's actually would probably work out pretty well if I had to pick one thing. One of the things on the bucket list is move back to Kauai. And if I get one last thing on the bucket list, then that's it. Might as well move back there because that's where I want to die. So,
okay,
that would work.
Cool.
Yeah, that's where you grew up, right? Like that's where you were raised. I've never been to Kauai. I've been on Oahu, but never been to Kauai.
I lived on Oahu for a short bit, but Kauai's a different world. It's like a different planet. You know,
like rural, like it's rural paradise, right?
Yeah, it is. That's becoming less and less rural, you know, because it's lots of people are moving there and they're developing a lot, which, you know, they're not super happy about, but
right.
A lot of people that own a lot of land are very coin operated. So
also Jillian has seen your chin.
She has. I met Jill a little before, I guess 2010, 2011 time period. I think I met her once or twice on trips up here. Similar circle of people. And I think she's known me since 2011. And I was very much bald chinned. And my friends always tell me, they're like, definitely never get rid of the beard. Because if you remember, you're ugly under there. Like, so don't get rid of it.
All right. Well, that's all I have for questions.
Hot seat right out of the gate.
Questions.
We just do it as an icebreaker.
Yeah.
Love it. I like the torture. It's good.
Occasionally you get people that don't know everyone, so you know,
I'm just super indecisive. I because I'm into a bunch of stuff. So it's like it's always whenever anyone says like, "What's your favorite band?" Like, "What's your favorite thing?" I have a real hard time. It's like if I'm in front of a new group of people and someone asks me like, "What's your favorite?" song or band or something, I freeze up. I'm like, oh god, start getting sweaty pits. I'm like, oh, I gotta choose. I don't know.
Yeah, I
think I'm supposed to. Yeah.
So I'm going to bring up a point that you did get to meet Michael in person at Nationals.
We did meet.
We did. Man, that's that whole thing's such a blur. Like, oh my god. I'm like, oh my goodness.
And I wanted to bring up the point to the chat that you actually won, didn't you?
I did. I won my category. I won gold for 18 to 24 groomed was the category.
And was that your first ever competition as well?
Yeah, first one ever, and I was terrified. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. I was all nervous.
Yeah, he got the crowd going though.
Well, you know, well, sure. I figured that was my only saving chance was, you know, you can only dress this up so much. So it's I was saying earlier, you know, but they you know, it's weird. I do a lot of public speaking, and I don't ever get nervous before that. And it's like because people tell you, oh yeah, because won a gold too. There's it's weird when you go up public speaking and you're used to it. You do a lot of just, you know, crowd stuff, presenting or instructing, and it's people always say, don't worry what you look like. You're worrying too much. They're not here to see what you look like. They're here to hear what you say. And this was the exact opposite, right? So, you know, no one cared what you said in my mind there, right? They're there to exactly do just that, just look at you. And so it was like a totally different type of on stage than I've ever done before. So it was, you know, it ended up being really cool though. I mean, once you meet everyone there, you realize everyone's just bearded family. You're like, okay, no, I'm good. This is good. And it's funny, I've met you before, and like I say, it was such a blur. My brain just didn't connect that I met you at Nationals. And
I'm the guy that
like,
went second place in the category in front of you.
yeah. Oh, I remember your outfit too, man. You look that was awesome. Like you were killing it.
Pac-Man outfit.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, I loved it. That's great.
Yeah, but we got a couple guys that were there. Phil won I think, second or third place. And his
Dynamite was there, right? Yep.
And not Ty, but Because was there.
Because was there.
Yeah.
Was there.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of people from our group here there.
Oh,
it was cool. It was the first time I met a bunch of them in person.
Are you any plans to go to another one?
Oh yeah, for sure. I wanted to come out to this one. It's just we're traveling down to Knoxville next week to go see my mom. So everything's just kind of, you know, getting ready to go. Road trip, wife, kid, dog. Yeah.
Now in 2025 in Pittsburgh is the Worlds, and that's not too far for you.
Nope. I'm in for that one for sure. You guys I'll definitely be there for that one. If you win Nationals, it's just one of those things. You have to go. You have to go to World. It's just one of those things. You got to do it.
He says he didn't win crap.
You won the applause of the audience reigning as a judge there on stage. So you I think, you know, that was winning. That was intrinsical winning.
Yeah, there's the beard calendar for all the competitions coming up. So the one I'm doing this weekend is in Denver, and then I'm planning on the one in Detroit in September, and then another September in South Dakota.
There's Dan's judging one coming up here pretty soon too. Is that this one?
That's the one.
That's the one this weekend. Yeah, that's the one that I really wanted to go to.
No, the one in September.
That's September.
Yeah.
And Detroit.
I had my list messed up. I think yeah, good. Okay. I think I might be able to make it out there for that one. That'd be cool. I can't go to 2 where Dan is judging though, because people will start getting the wrong idea. But it's Olympic scoring, you know, so it's like the lowest and the highest get eliminated, and then they average out the middle. So that way they avoid any funny business.
He's already goated.
Oh man.
There was a competition the end of August, in Ohio. I don't think Dan C's judging that one.
There we go. That's what I got to do. I got to weave them in. Oh man, that's hilarious. Yeah, it was. That was a good time. It was a whirlwind though. And it was funny because like right after I got off stage, I found out that there was a tattoo shop around the corner who was giving out half-price tattoos that look like the logo.
Mm-hmm.
And so of course I was like, all right, how long do we got to come back for like the best in show thing? Because I got to run over and see if they can slide me in for a tattoo. So I did. Managed to get it done. Made it back in time. It was good.
Nice.
You got to collect stamps, you know, as you go.
Speaking of tattoos, my youngest daughter, who turned 18 the end of June, she's getting her first one next Friday, and she's getting it on her ribs.
Oh.
I said, you got that? I said, that's not a good place for your first one.
It's really not. It's not at all.
No.
You know,
No.
a lot of tattoo artists won't tattoo rib cages or feet or hands as the first tattoo because they're like, they want you to feel what it's like through a period of time somewhere that isn't so excruciating. If she's lucky though, she's just doing like the new style that lots of girls are doing, which is just like the fine line work stuff. Maybe that's not so bad there, but oh boy.
Did she tell you what she's getting?
Yeah, it is a fine line type artwork design. So she might
Of
be
the things you could get there,
right.
I suppose.
I told her. Yeah, I said, do you remember that one time when you had to have blood work done? I said, you about passed out. They had to give you some orange juice. I said, that's a lot of needles. Hey, Donald. But yeah, I think the worst ones for me were like inside, you know, the inner arm, tender. That's tender. But
oh yeah, those get a little spicy.
But yeah,
sure.
Especially when they're coloring in and they got the multi-needle going in there and they're just grinding it in there. It's like, okay.
One of the guys I go see,
it's tenderized.
They're wide. Like some of those spreads of like the shading needles. I mean, those things can get like, you know, damn near a quarter-inch wide. It's like a little shovel.
John Drennan, you were asking where that competition was. That's in Newark, Ohio.
It's just east of Columbus. 45 minutes. Yeah, Buckeye Beard Battle.
Yep.
Well, we were just talking about water heaters. They got it coming.
Oh. I wasn't on that wavelength.
Who's Stinky Monkey?
Stinky Monkey. That's where our friend Bob Kane is an artist. This guy Tony Ciavello owns the shop, and that's where I've done a whole bunch of. He basically did my whole wrapped around my left leg, and well, the lower half anyway. What's up, Chris? Rocking your shirt, dude. Yeah, Stinky Monkey's a good place. Every artist in there is just fantastic. Like they're all a bit different. But there's this chick in there, Amanda. She does this like crazy like horror movie themed stuff. She's does all kinds of cool stuff.
Wow.
Do you know how many tattoos you have?
No,
Okay.
I don't.
That's fair.
At least 18 or 20. Right around that. You know, I'm running out of room. It's time to start connecting places, which is what I just kind of got through doing on this guy with a bunch of geometric stuff. It was a lot of
Very
just
cool.
Russian dude down in New York. Did my little astronaut guy, and he does this cool like patterns and he does like that kind of stuff. It's neat. It's cool.
That.
It's
Hold
cool
on.
stuff.
Here. There we go. Now let's show it. Now let's see it.
Got like this kind
Yeah.
of stuff here. He does this cool little like geometric shapes.
Yeah.
He does like this tiny little writing, which I'm sure will get changed into something else someday because, and talk about being indecisive. So he asks me, what do you want? What I want the small like newspaper print to be. See if it'll focus. Right.
Yeah.
So my indecision kicks in and analysis paralysis gets the best of me. And whenever you're building like a website or something, you put like this default text blocks called lorem ipsum, and it's just a fake language. It's not any language. So you don't have to worry about someone having a wrong translation and saying something that you don't want it to say. And you don't realize 10 years, 15 years later that you actually don't really care so much about that thing that you wrote about on your arm anymore. So I just generated random text blocks with lorem ipsum with the code generator through ChatGPT, and we just pasted on there. So it says nothing like that whole section. That's just a bunch of little text here.
Yeah.
It's letters, but they are not words.
You could translate it to anything you want, and
Right.
it can change throughout the years.
I have. People are like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Oh, it's it's Latin," but just messing with people. I haven't made up the backstory yet, so I haven't gone much further with it. But yeah, they're addicting for sure. I won't get anything else added to my feet because those were awful. Feet were a bad idea. And I knew that after the first foot, of course, but then, the symmetry argument starts happening in your head and you're like, well, now it looks weird barefoot because I only got it on one foot. So then I did it again. Wasn't any better. How about you guys? I know you have tattoos, but
Yeah, I have some.
Got
I
a
don't know.
couple.
I don't keep track, but not as many as you. Definitely not.
any regrettable ones?
It's all
No.
part of life.
No.
It's all part of it's
I
part of my life at that time. I don't regret.
Well, the smoke behind my Harley symbol, some people think looks like a Christmas tree.
Oh,
That's not a Christmas tree.
It's not supposed to be.
I don't know what you're talking about.
that'll happen.
I
Jill has
I
tattoo on her arm.
go
Ahead.
I got one that I mean the meaning of it is good, but the quality of it wasn't. When me and my wife got married and we went to Vegas for our honeymoon, and we decided to get a tattoo, both of us. And I got a key, and then she got a locket. Well, I got the key on the inner right calf, and she got a locket on her arm. And both of them, the quality's not that good. We should have went somewhere better, but it was a spur of the moment thing. And then the other one, my first one I ever got is on my right shoulder and on my back, and it's of a tiger with its claws like this. And luckily I don't look at it all the time, but I can't see it anyway, but my wife always picks on me about it. She goes, it looks like he's missing his ball, like a kitty cat playing with a ball and he's missing his ball. So yeah, but that was, I think I was 24, 25. I finally got my first one, but yeah, wouldn't mind getting that one covered up. But she's really disappointed with her locket. But she even, I don't know if you guys ever watched Ink Masters.
Mm-hmm.
There's the one woman, I can't think of her name right now.
Kat Von D.
But no, not Kat. This was a few years ago, few seasons ago. I'll look her up here in a minute, but she has a shop in Pittsburgh, and my wife had sent pictures and stuff, and
Isn't like
wanted to
Heather
see if
Butler? Something like
no,
that.
I'll look it up here in a little bit. But anyway, she
Hard to get into.
she wanted to get it covered up, and they're like, oh, that's there's a lot of black in it, you know. They're like, man, that would be so tough. So, but yeah, she's really disappointed. But you guys go ahead and chat. I'll look her up. I can't think of her name.
You gotta just once in a while, you gotta just deal with it and go get a little bit of laser work done to get some of the black to break up a bit, and then you can, cover it up with pretty much anything. But sometimes, if it's old black that's kind of done the thing,
Yeah.
you gotta lighten it. I've had a couple cover-ups.
And some of them people like that, though, they're expensive too. I was surprised.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they're.
You know,
I mean, they're up there now.
they're like charging. What they say, like $3,000 an hour or something. For
$300 an hour,
sitting.
sure. Yeah.
3,000 a sitting, but they didn't say
Whoa.
how long the sitting was.
Woof.
Yeah.
The worst price artist I've had to deal with is probably that guy, this Russian dude down in New York. But it's it hurts on your arm and in the wallet.
Do you have any? I don't know if it's the right term, but like Samoan type ink.
No, I don't. Nope, I don't.
No.
It's because, I have a lot of Hawaiian and Samoan friends,
Right.
and if I did that, they'd make fun of me for being a Haole with Hawaiian tattoos.
Okay. Yeah.
They'd get me. I wouldn't ever live it down. I've thought about doing some things that have like some, Polynesian pattern like inside of another tattoo, but like a band or something across like, the calf or something like that. Like, nope. They're like, you haven't killed a boar with a Bowie knife. You can't have that tattoo. That's not okay.
Just the process though of those Polynesian tattoos is pretty amazing though. Like,
Oh, the stick and poke stuff is crazy.
yeah. And using
Yeah,
that to kind of help clean it out. And
Oh yeah. I mean, that stuff, that stuff looks bad.
Sarah Miller.
Sarah Miller. Okay. I knew it was a Miller.
Yep. Sarah Miller she has Wild Child.
Yeah. She's like
Yeah.
booked out like 2-3 years at a time. From what I've heard, like when we were looking her up. But Donald Long, I'm not sure about the skin. I know people get tattoos up and, elderly people get tattoos. I mean, I think it would hold well. It's just, I think it's harder because the skin is looser. I've always heard that it's harder to tattoo when it's loose, but go for it, man. Get another tattoo.
Do it up. You'd be surprised. It's just such a different process now than it was back in the day too. Like my first tattoo ever was I've had a few, I guess, but the old, mechanical based machines, and like the new ones are just like these, they're wireless, they're handheld, about that big, and they're super quiet.
Yeah.
And they use these cartridges that go in and out there to swap in and out, so it's like don't have to deal with swapping back and forth.
Yeah.
But Yeah, it's definitely it's changed a lot. I don't know. I think certain stuff hurts worse because of what they can do with it, and then certain stuff that you used to be able to do doesn't hurt as bad.
Yeah.
Tony T says his stepdad got tats into his 60s and looked fine.
Yeah.
Well, you're here. That's all that matters.
What's up, Dennis?
Man. 150 an hour, large cover up. And Jill had a whole chest piece taken off. That must have been wild.
Oh yeah,
Took 3 years. Wow.
yeah, because you got to wait a long time in between
Wow.
laser sessions to not damage your skin.
Yeah.
But oh yeah, she had quite the collarbone tattoo.
Wow.
Mm.
That's too bad.
It was like
I really like chest pieces. So if you're
Not
not,
this
happy
one.
with it, like that's too bad that happened. So
this thing deserved to die for
Yeah.
sure from the moment it was done. Yeah, it was like if you think of like a movie shot in like Southeast LA, she would have been an extra in a heartbeat with those large black Roman letters.
What's up, Sarge? 5150.
Oh, look at that!
See, nice.
See, perfect.
My mom about died when I came home with a tattoo at 18.
Oh,
You'd think I'd, robbed a bank or something. She was
yeah, that's
horrified.
pretty much the reaction I get.
She was horrified.
Yeah, when I got mine, my mom had a conniption fit, but
Yeah.
and then when I got this one, this was a portrait, but there's things fading in it. I need a better quality guy than this one even, but this one is my dad's senior picture. And when I got that done, of course my other ones are on my upper arm, and I got this was my first one that's really seen all the time. My mom's like, you better not get one of me on your other arm. I said, okay. But yeah, I think I got 8. I counted 8, but yeah.
Do I hear?
And what's funny though,
Squirrels.
what's that?
Someone said Nick wants to talk about squirrels.
Oh,
Dennis, I always want to talk about squirrels, but I'm buffering my squirrel hunting tonight. I saved that for Tuesdays. If someone gets me going, it's not my fault, and that's fine. I blame Dan for our squirrel chasing. He encourages and both instigates and encourages that sort of activity. So, but yes, always happy to chase literally just about anything down a rabbit hole and see where it goes. I don't know if it's a skill or a disability. Maybe sometimes it's situational and it can be both. I don't know.
So because has a question: are there any upcoming products or expansions you're excited about? New scent profiles. He is with that deodorant.
Well, yeah. I mean, you hit the nail on the head right there, man. There's a couple of things, things involving shower products that I'm not at liberty to talk about yet. But as far as deodorant goes, I'm very, very excited. Our production room, we moved shipping and receiving into a separate kind of dedicated area in the building. So the shop got a whole lot bigger, less crowded, I should say, same size. It feels bigger. And it's filled with all kinds of stuff we've never had in the shop before, coming up with this deodorant. I guess one thing, I will divulge because other people are doing it too. One of the cool things about it is it's going to be a probiotic based, not based, I suppose, but some natural deodorants rely on things like, baking soda, cornstarch, and things like that. And I don't tolerate them super well. And obviously it's got to work for me or I want it to work for anyone else. So it's the probiotic piece of it is pretty neat. It's those things, those little microbes eat stuff that smell bad and produce things we can't smell. So the more you stink, the more of them populate. There's a couple other brands out there that I think are using that same concept or will be shortly, and they're starting to kind of hit the market. But it's gonna be a cool blend of things, and you might see some familiar faces from the ingredient labels that a lot of you have in your bathrooms now. So it's we're trying to kind of use what works in the beard world in ways that are situated to work in different products. So that's been a lot of fun trying to keep like some cohesion across the backbones of these things,
Right.
So I'm pumped on that. I got a little hyper focused a couple of weeks ago. I got a little obsessive about it. I had to be told to cool it. So, but yes, very, very, very excited because Brandon, you're gonna love what you see. It's but it's, you know what? And on the new scent profiles thing, yes, there's actually 2 collaborations in the works. Super excited about those because they are way out there as far as things that I don't think anyone's modeled beard scents off of the things that we're modeling beard scents after this time for sure. And we're, of course, we have the cross to bear of modeling these very interesting crossovers of scent profiles with essential oils, right? So it's not even like we can rely on fragrance oils to do it. So it's very much like building scents that embody the description of a scent, not necessarily replicate a scent, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But my wife is a crazy genius in the world of scents. So she she again has blown it out of the water, and where everyone who's been testing and checking stuff out is pumped, which makes us pumped, right? People get excited about something you create. That's awesome for her. It's like that just puts more fuel to the fire and wants her to push it over the finish line as soon as that happens.
Well, I'm kind of interested in that deodorant you're talking about because I've had horrible luck with finding a natural deodorant that I either like or don't react to, because I react to them or they just don't work that well. So
I've had a similar experience. I think my problem, and it's funny because Dan started having the same problem with the same brand in a really close period of time, where I've been using, I'll admit it, I was using the same crappy, aluminum filled Old Spice since I was 14.
I don't react bad to those.
I never did either.
Yeah.
It's for we're talking 26 years.
Yeah,
I was fine. And then literally it was, I don't know, two months ago, maybe. I was getting out of the shower and I had this huge rash from here to here. And, my wife, who's been trying to get me onto one of the natural deodorants she found that actually does work. Unfortunately, it is it's geared towards, it's definitely anyone can use it. It's not like a feminine scent. But it comes in a roller ball and it's liquid, and people with, hair in their armpits, doesn't work out so well for us there. They pull hairs and it wasn't great. So I just avoided it. So I did the thing where I purged for 3 or 4 days and I smelled like an Italian sub, which I never do. And I wasn't excited about. And then I started trying the stuff that she was using, and it worked. Sure, you still sweat, but nothing ever ended up stinking, and so it worked really, really well. So, it contained niacinamides and a few of the things that weren't all natural. So I worked with Jill to figure out natural, alternatives to those, I guess, naturally occurring but lab synthesized ingredients, I guess is the way you can look at those. But it's been shaping up pretty good. We're making progress. I think we're down to probably, I would have to think that we're in the last couple of dramatic formula changes, right? We're kind of tweaking and working at this point on texture and applicability, but it's, I think it's getting close. It's certainly a hell of a lot closer than it was before we found something to chase down, right? But it's, there's some, what's neat about it is instead of using things like, baking soda, cornstarch and stuff, I'm not going to go through the whole list of stuff that's in there, but it's instead of using things like cornstarch, there's a type of clay that works really well for absorbing moisture, and people don't react to it. And there's a couple of zinc-based, ingredients in there that replace some of the other stuff that you don't want in an all-natural ingredient. One, because they either don't work or they clump, or they're just, there's a few things that are undesirable about, I think, 90% of the natural deodorants out there. Kind of to echo what you said, right? They either don't work or your body doesn't like them.
Yeah.
But, using things like probiotics and vitamin E and stuff like that, I think there's a way to really get some stuff that absorbs moisture, some things that kill odor, and at the same time are good for your skin. And I think they do exist in the natural world of ingredients. It's a lot of work, right? To get it to all come together in a way that's workable. And if it takes us another month, everyone's going to be really excited to have it this year. And if it takes us another year, people are still going to be excited about it. Then what I can definitely say is that we're dialing it in. And if that takes longer than we think, that it is what it is, because that's kind of,
right.
It can't just be okay, right? It's got to be the one that I want to use every day. It's got to work.
Yep.
Yeah. The way you do anything is the way you do everything, right?
Yeah.
But there we go. Dennis, that was a squirrel. Found one.
Here, Beer Because is asking, what's the biggest challenge in running a beard product company?
Well, I think the way we do it is what crazy people do, doing literally just everything, kind of, starting from scratch, everything, and just literally doing it, Jill and Shelly and Chris, it's a 3-person team in there that literally starts formulation, blending, bottling, labeling, packing, shipping, and customer service. So I think that strategy probably creates the bundle of things that is just difficult as a whole. But I will say the biggest challenge of doing it the way we do is the essential oils, right? It's they're not made in vats. And so some of the stuff that we want to use all year, we can't, right? So if we could do peppermint bark all year, we would, right? But the vanilla and the cocoa that's used in that it gets price prohibitive for other types of products. And it's also just not available all the time. We kind of got to buy it 6 months ahead of time in the little bits that we can, until we're ready for production. It's like you got to squirrel it away. Speaking of squirrels, but that's it.
And then, Brad kind of asked what's unique about Nick's blends, and kind of touched on the essential oils and the different scents, seasonal. Yeah.
It's definitely the Barrage and the Marula, I think, are the really standouts that I think silently make a huge difference that people might not really be focusing on, because they're not super popular ingredients in the beard care world. They're extremely popular in the women's cosmetic space. I mean, They've been called liquid gold and, you know, all sorts of things. It's like if I get a hot spot patch, I do something stupid, I get sunburned under my beard, something like that, I'm going, you know, straight marula oil that we keep in the cabinet, and along with some, like, you know, hyaluronic acid or something like that for just skin repair. But I'd say the standouts, absolutely the Barrage and the marula. I mean, they're huge for the skin, and you can't grow tall trees without good soil, ladies and gentlemen. So that's I think someone much better and more knowledgeable at this than I am told me that. And
that's on your bio or your profile, your about us.
Yeah, it is. It was literally, that was during like the very beginning stand-ups of starting Dr. Nick's. I had a friend at the time, this old hippie dude, and he was really into the apothecary kind of. He was a masseuse and aromatherapist, and he just kind of knew his stuff when it came to scents and oils. And that was really the only person I knew. And when I first met with him about it, he's like, you know, everyone's messing. He's like, I did a lot of research on like people that are doing, you know, beard oils. He's like, everyone's missing something. I'm like, what? He's like, they're all just hair oil. I'm like, well, fun fact, beards are made out of hair. I'm like, so I'm pretty sure everyone's got this figured out, is what you're telling me. And he's like, no. He's like, your hair goes into your skin. There's a follicle where the irritation happens and the itch. That's where the flakes come from. It's on your skin. He's like, we got to do a balance of a skin oil and a hair oil. Barrage and marula were not part of that back then. But it was, you know, it's just an interesting thing that I think we kind of started off with the whole idea that there needed to be something for the skin in there. It had to work for both skin and hair. Mm-hmm. And now it's even more so with the Barrage and marula. Those are purely for your skin.
Thanks, Tony T. Thanks,
Tony, for joining us.
Oh, 4 a.m. comes way before you think it does.
Well, since we were asked and stuff, I did put together a presentation of what Dr. Nick's has to offer.
Oh, awesome.
So we can...
That sounds killer.
And through that.
Oh, man, awesome.
So we have beard oil, and here's the ingredients. We were just talking about sunflower oil, jojoba oil, sweet almond oil, argan oil, barrage oil, marula oil, and essential oils.
Yep.
And let's go $20 for a 1 ounce bottle of beard oil.
That's it. IPA was the very first oil we ever made.
And then brought it back on the signature line, right?
Yeah, well, so we did away with the signature series finally. So we kind of that was like the IPA was beard beer, and then we had the stout at the time that was beard beer branded, and then we had the signature series, which we thought was going to be sort of like our standards, right? We'd have seasonals, we'd have collabs, we'd have the beard beer stuff, and then our thought was that the signature series was just something that was going to always be there, and it was they were going to be numbered, and they would exist across all products all the time, whereas a special scent might come out in a beard oil, but the signature series idea was to keep it where if one came out, it would be across, you know, beard oil, balms, shower products, etc. But that didn't exactly play out super well. And then we had things where we only had certain scents and certain products, but it was still called signature series because they had a number. So it just got messy. And then some people were like, what's a number 9 smell like? You know? Yeah. And so we were like, well, you know, I guess we could replace the numbers so people don't need a decoder ring with, I don't know, maybe the scent profile as the name. Crazy idea. So we did that, and so everything is now collapsed basically like right into one thing. We still list the numbers because some people know the scent they like as a number. But it's now it should be easier. Everything's just called what it is. The scent profile is the name, and hopefully it'll just kind of make it easier for people to find stuff they like.
Yeah. I thought this was an interesting picture, and it kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier about the hair oil and skin oil.
Yeah.
And some of these are even both.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what's kind of neat about it, is you kind of have like that Venn diagram, and you got the left and the right, and they overlap in the center, and it creates like just a nice synergy across the whole thing, I think. What's up, Jacob?
Then as Jacob from Jacked Up was talking about the growth simulator in the chat, saying that it really has helped him with growing his beard.
I think he's echoing something that's kind of a common theme. It's, at first, I'll tell you, I was super duper against ever doing anything called a stimulator or growth boost. I was kind of allergic to the whole idea. And it was because I just didn't think, I don't know, I didn't really believe, I guess, the claims of a lot of stuff out there. And I just didn't want to do it just to do it because other people were doing it. I hate doing that. Try to avoid it. It's inevitable sometimes. But I was like, I'm not just going to, we can't just do it to do it. And so Jill took that as a challenge. And she's like, well, what if we did it, but it was a completely different carrier oil, and there was things in it that actually mattered to growing hair and having skin that wanted to grow hair. And I said, okay, I'm listening. And I kind of came around to it. And then I started using it, the stuff that she was testing. And I definitely noticed like thicker follicles. I had less fallout. And I definitely noticed the difference in some areas, especially like the soul patch area. I used to have a really patchy area here, and now it's like they're not even that long. They're like new hairs that are growing there that weren't before. And it's largely, I think, one, obviously peppermint and rosemary has been like in everything in the Middle East for growing hair. Like India were like pioneers with it. They've been using it on their heads and their faces to grow beards for, hundreds of years. But the thing that really does it, I think, in ours is the beardy oil is the real standout. That that's why it's orange, because it has beta carotene in it. Right, carrots are orange because they're filled with beta carotene, and it does some really neat stuff. It's great for your skin in general, but because it kind of as it oxidizes, it sort of converts to vitamin A in a couple of branch chains that resemble vitamin A, which essentially is what people would use as like a retinol, serum. And so Jill kind of schooled me on everything this stuff does, and she can be very convincing. I don't know if you guys maybe ever thought maybe that was the case, but the Beardy, the Rice brand, and then the Castor. The Castor just sort of it gives it the viscosity that it has, and I think that it's made to go at the base of the hair and onto your skin. So you want it to kind of stay in place. You want it to be coating, which our typical carrier blend is not. Right, we're kind of a medium light blend on our standard carrier, but she killed it. I mean, it stays in place. It doesn't go where you don't want it to. I think the rice bran oil is like a great catalyst for the peppermint oil and rosemary because it holds it on the skin along with the castor. And some guys have told us that have really white beards. They're like, hey, this is pretty cool. When I put it at the base of my hair, my beard has a little orange tint to it until the morning. It like reminds me when I had color in my beard. It's At first, I wasn't sure how that would work out, but people have actually grown to sort of enjoy it because they know where it is. They're like, yeah, I can tell where it is, and it washes right out in the shower. It's actually kind of cool. Oh yeah, Jacob. I kind of gathered that. It's like we're both pretty agreeable, and I think maybe or can be. I think maybe that's why.
Well, and it's hard to argue with results.
Yeah, it is. And it's I guess that's what really sold me. Just like with the rest of our stuff, like I used it and it worked, and I was like, oh, okay, we got something here. We've never bought a product, and just and then repackaged it and put it out without it being something that we've tested like crazy and kind of found what we liked, what we didn't like, and tweaked it. Whether that be pH, shower products, or the amount of residual oils that stay on your skin with those, or how the surfactants encourage cleansing. It's like it's got to be something that replaces something else that I've always used, because at that point I'm like, oh well, if it's better than what I've been using and it's my favorite thing to use, then other people at least might like it, right? It might work for them too.
Yeah. And then here, a lot of scents are subjective, but that's what a lot of people buy their oils for, is either to be unscented or scented. And number 0, which is actually an unscented.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7, which I believe that's the Dan C favorite.
That or IPA, yeah. It's like he wrestles with that one.
Zest, citrus, fruit, and pine. Number 9 is lavender, orange blossom, and sandalwood. Number 18 is warm spice, musk, and wood. Number 21 is smoke and campfire. Then we have key lime pie, which is key lime and vanilla. IPA, which is citrus, pine, and hops. Peppermint rosemary. Cold brew coffee, and lemongrass ginger, which are pretty much what they say.
Yep, exactly right. And now the rest of them pretty much are too. It's just the numbers now at the end. So just in case people, it's like when an exit sign on a highway changes and it's like old exit 12. It's kind of like old number 18.
Whiskey and Whiskers, I have key lime pie in my beer tonight too.
I have IPA in tonight.
I think, Jason, what do you have, 21?
Yeah. Yep, 21 today.
'21 has become a crowd favorite.
And then I believe you still have some of these seasonal scents for Christmas in July.
We do.
Yule tree, which is balsam, ornaments, and lights, which is an interesting description. And peppermint bark, which is peppermint, chocolate, and vanilla. And then
that's right there, peppermint bark. That's my favorite.
Peppermint bark.
Oh yeah,
dude, that's the stuff. And if we could, like, that's what I was saying earlier. If we could do it all year, we probably would, because there's like, there's torches and pitchforks out in front of our building when the day it goes out of stock.
Yeah, and actually, sometimes I like to mix peppermint bark, and then I'll use True North peppermint Christmas scent butter, and then
I love it.
Peppermint cedarwood balm, because I do an oil, butter, and balm all at once. But those three together are just amazing.
Oh man, that sounds awesome. Yeah, the Yule tree has got to be, when it's out now, that I have a hard time figuring out since it's limited, I use that a lot, and then I go back and forth between basically that IPA and number 7. But the Yule Tree, it literally is like walking into a Christmas tree lot and smelling just every type of tree there is there all at once. And it's like a real natural smelling, evergreen scent. It's sappy and smells like fresh cut pine. It's there's nothing Yankee Candle Company about it at all. It's real natural.
And Brad is calling Brewer out, saying you're not rocking the coffee scent.
No, I'm not big on coffee scents or the beard oil. No, I just like to drink coffee.
Have you ever tried the cold brew coffee?
No, I haven't.
So like, think about the peppermint bark, right? Instead of smelling like a peppermint patty, right, where it's like a real artificial, smelling peppermint, the coffee's the same way. So instead of being like, I think a lot of coffee scents, since they're called coffee shop scents, right, they smell like a cup of coffee that has been brewed and has cream in it and has sugar in it, and it smells like sweet, like Werther's coffee candies, right? Ours is not that. Like if you have a grinder for coffee beans, and you leave that little canister sitting out on your counter after you're brewing coffee, like the smell of the brewed coffee and the smell of that canister with ground up oily beans in it, that's the scent you get from that. It's like it's very, very different. Like some people have got it as like a gift and they send us an email and they're like, I didn't even want to try this, and it's one of my favorite beard oils now, so thank you. Nice. It's an interesting one.
It's normally the ones you don't think you're gonna like that you end up loving. It's kind of weird.
I think that's that happens a lot with me.
Yeah. And you have a seasonal X's and O's for Valentine's Day, Oud, Amber, and Musk.
Yep.
And I wasn't sure whether to put the beach fire stories in here or not.
You might as well. It is for right now. It's on vacation. We'll say. A lot of people want it back, and the brewery is super interested in doing it again. So that one's definitely going to return because I loved it too. I used that one at night with butter all the time.
Cool. And that one is chocolate, peanut butter, and toasted marshmallow.
Yep.
And you're able to pull that off with essential oils?
Yeah. So Jill figured out a really crazy combination of a couple of essential oils that shall remain nameless forever. That when combined do very much smell like when you break open a toasted marshmallow, and it's neither one of them smell like they could ever make anything remotely close to that separately. But when combined, it's exactly that. She killed it. She's like an essential oil wizard.
Wow. So now we come to the balm, which comes in scents 0, 7, 9, and 18.
Yep.
Which is unscented. Basically a citrus. I don't remember what 9 is.
9's kind of like sandalwood, lavender.
And then 18 isn't the campfire.
No, that's the warm spice and musk.
Okay. So for $20, you get a 2-ounce balm stick.
That's it.
And actually, I've had balm sticks, and they're actually sometimes easier to use than like a normal balm that you spread in your hands and then your face.
Oh, for sure. There's I'm just kind of like a sensory, sensitive person with some things, and I think balm was one of them for me. And I needed a stick, and there was no all natural ones out at the time. So that's where we went, because I wanted to be able to just swipe it on my hand, but I wanted to do like an outside coating to just keep like flyaways down. And then I love the idea of being able to use it as like a super light hold for my mustache. And so I don't apply that balm like I guess you would typically put in a balm, right? I don't like anything that feels stiff or at all coated. So I just do like the down spots and the sideburns, the connectors, and then I don't do anything, anything down here when it gets, down to, this area is here. I don't do anything with it. But the mustache is key. That keeps it so you can eat sandwiches.
Oh yeah, definitely. But you get to where it's longer and the weight just kind of holds the rest of it in place.
It does. It definitely does. Like I have an 89 K5 Blazer, and in the summer that's pretty much all I want to drive. And if I roll down the back tailgate window and my side window's open, my beard gets sucked out the window now, and it just waves like out the window over the halfway closed window. People look at me like I must have a dog hanging out the window, and they double take like that's not a dog at all. That's growing out of his face.
That's beard goals.
Yep.
Being able to have your beard fly out the window.
That's what you need. Might hurt your fuel economy though. It might be some drag. I don't know. There could be a downside to it.
In 89 K5 Blazer, you're worried about fuel economy?
I sure am not. I
Okay.
think I'm speaking on behalf of other people that might be fuel conscious. My pig of a K5 definitely is not worried about fuel or emissions.
Definitely not. So, what I've noticed is you've taken the grapeseed oil out of almost all your products.
Out of
except
all of them.
for the balm. Is there a reason behind that?
Yeah, so it's a really funny reason actually. It will be. It might be replaced. We don't know. But what made it so it wasn't like an immediate default, okay, let's switch it. Aside from, grapeseed actually does work pretty well in the balm, and it has the benefit of the wax being in there, everything emulsified. So the shelf life issue with the grapeseed largely goes away when it's bound together with butters and wax. But initially it was because I didn't order the new labels from our new label supplier and the new artwork for our new bottles when I ordered new bottle labels. So, fun fact is that Dr. Nix forgot. And I have bad luck with labels. I was driving to pick up labels a few weeks ago, and I got T-boned by an elderly woman at an intersection who ran a red light, just going to pick up labels. So, it's just something about labels. They want to make my life difficult.
So the balm has coconut oil, shea butter, beeswax, borage oil, grapeseed oil, jojoba oil, argan oil, and essential oils.
That's it.
Now we have your butter, and that just comes in the natural, unscented.
Correct.
$25 for a 4-ounce. Mango butter, shea butter, avocado butter, aloe butter, sunflower oil, salad butter, sweet almond oil, jojoba oil, argan oil, borage oil, and marula oil.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah. A lot of good stuff, though.
It's really good stuff. It's like people use it on everything. It's like Frank's Red Hots, those old commercials. Like I put that on everything. It's like the same thing with this butter. It's like people have used it for old melanoma removal, spots on skin and on their kids who had various scalp issues, and people use it on their dogs, on their noses, on their paws. I use it to heal tattoos. So does Jill. It's sort of one of those things that it does work wonders for your beard, and it feels fantastic. But it's turned into something much larger than we ever knew it was.
Yeah, that's cool. I know I use butter on a lot of other areas that I never dreamed I would have when I started buying it.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
And Time might hit it here. It's good for healing tattoos as well.
Yep, I know he's used it for tattoos.
don't know what that means.
He uses it on his son.
I know what it means.
Yeah, Jacob uses it. He has some skin issues,
Yeah.
and it calms him down like crazy.
Nice.
Jason, you're supposed to blink if you're okay.
I'm good.
And we have beard sanitizer. I think all you have in stock is the key lime, not the blood orange. But for $15, you get a 2 ounce. Ingredients are distilled water, cityl liquid, SF, vegetable glycerin, propanediol, polysugamols, D9, essential oils, and hypochlorous acid.
Oh, that's the magic stuff right there. Is the hypochlorous acid. It's like the only thing that makes this one of the very, very few, if only at this point, non-alcohol containing, on-demand sort of beard sanitizer and cleanser, with some sneaky moisture adding benefits that are super high tech between the propanediol and the polysugamols 9 and the vegetable glycerin.
Can you
People that
give
work
us
in dusty environments love it.
examples of why would we use this? Like, why would I need a beard sanitizer?
Yeah. So, it's like they're like air filters that are on your face, right? So when you're going through wherever you are, maybe you're around a bunch of sick people in the doctor's office, or you go somewhere and you're someone who works around gypsum and drywall dust, or you go to the grocery store and you're like, wow, I guess flu season's back. Everyone's coughing and looks like hell. It's one of those things where if it's in your car or when you get home or at your office, I keep one at my office, and you can spray it in. And the hypochlorous acid it's made from water, and it's an electrolyzation process between water and salt that ionize and create HOCl, which is HOCl, otherwise known as hypochlorous acid. And during the pandemic, that's what everyone was like using in the schools, like the big foggers and commercial kitchens and stuff like that, restaurants. So it's safe for your eyes, nose, ears, and mouth. And the cell that it uses is technically part of your immune system already. And so it kills viruses, spores, mildew, viruses, and bacteria. And as it dissolves and evaporates, because of all that, they're very much just a defunkifying process that happens to get rid of, people are like, hey man, this is kind of embarrassing, but works really well after you get a little beard drool or sleeping, and it's like those sorts of things start coming out of people, and it's like, oh, okay. So it's like on demand, clean up your beard a bit, and it gives it some, leave behind natural moisture.
What sort of shelf life does this have?
So the hypochlorous acid is technically good for up to a year. We recommend no longer than 6 months, and ideally you use it within 90 days.
Okay.
But that is why it's in a solid bottle, because hypochlorous acid does not like sunlight.
And we have hair shampoo and conditioner. The scent profile is either lime zest, citrus fruit, and pine, or peppermint rosemary. And you get one of those, $20, 8 ounce. So that price is for each bottle, not together.
Yep.
And guys, if you want to check out the ingredients, be sure to just check out his website.
I was worried.
I wasn't going to sit here and go through all these bottles.
I would make them do it.
Oh, I think we all, I can speak for myself when I say that I think, we all appreciate that we don't try to go through and go through conditioner ingredients, because I'm used to them and I've adjusted them and I've done formulas and worked on them, and I still can't pronounce half of them. So 1, don't feel bad, and 2, hooray, we don't have to do it. Okay, because that's one of those inside comments. Love it.
And then we have the beard washing conditioner, which comes in unscented. The number 7, which is lime zest, citrus fruit, and pine. Number 9, which is lavender, orange blossom, and sandalwood, and peppermint rosemary. $20 for 8 ounce of each bottle. And we have a face wash, which either comes unscented, or number 7, which is lime zest, citrus fruit, and pine. $18 for a 4 ounce bottle.
And there's the lavender orange spice, the number 9. It's available now as well.
Okay, cool.
Or sorry, lavender orange sandalwood. Apologize.
Now, I'm going to ask a question. You know, there's a lot of companies coming out with face wash. Really, how much face do we have to wash with all the hair that we got?
You know, that's a fair question. And for you have the same reason I do. You got this.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let's just consider this a real extension of the face, you know, because that's what I wash my scalp with the face wash.
Okay.
And I've had pretty good results with it. Like, you know, I haven't always been able to enjoy my head symmetry. I used to have hair, and now I don't. And I think what works for me is beard wash, rinse it out, beard conditioner, leave it in. Then you apply a face wash and get your head and anything else, ears, whatever. And then you rinse it all off your head, your face, and that runs down past your conditioner, starts rinsing it out. And then you focus on rinsing out the conditioner. And I think that's the way to make it so whether you're using our shampoo or you're using, face wash, I'd always say have the conditioner in your beard before you do. Because I think it acts like a little bit of a barrier and prevents any kind of drying or stripping effect that you don't want in your beard. But I'd say, yeah, face and head, man, swear it out. Bald dudes need our face wash.
Okay.
There's a bunch of guys here in the chat who say they love the face wash.
It's a winner for sure. Perfect pH for your face. It's not too stripping, and you know it's a very different pH that's in our beard wash or that's in our shampoo, for example, and it's definitely balanced for your face. And the little climate that it has there. If I don't use it and I go take a shower and I dry off and I get super red, like between my eyebrows and right here next to my cheeks, because I'm Irish and Welsh and we're made to always look like have just drank a half a bottle of whiskey. So I get the red cheeks, I get the red forehead and the brows, and yeah, it's a mess. But this stuff works great. I don't get that anymore.
Oh, that's cool. And then we have the body wash, which comes in unscented. The number 7, lime zest, citrus fruit, and pine. The number 9, lavender, orange blossom, and sandalwood, and peppermint rosemary. $25 for an 8 ounce bottle.
You get a 16 ounce of that one, believe it or not.
I thought I saw it.
You know, numbers.
Yeah.
So I saw Mike's screen went dark for a second there. Is mine allowed to go dark for a second there so I can
Go ahead.
take a bio break? I'll be right back.
Absolutely.
All right. Then we've got some leather accessories from our friend from Jacked Up Leatherworks.
Ah.
Kind of like a catch-all and a leather beard product caddy.
Very nice.
They look pretty cool with the Dr. Nick's Amazing Man stuff logo on it, and just that slick black look looks pretty cool, especially in leather.
I didn't realize that was like a regular thing. I thought when I had seen it earlier in a year, and I thought it was just kind of like a special, but I didn't realize it was a regular.
Yeah, I think it's a
That's cool.
regular thing, and
Very
it is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then we also have 2 caddies, one in the Heritage Cherry for $35 and one in the Exotic Limba for $45. That really look pretty cool. And then we have some cool hats. A leather patch trucker hat for $35, which looks pretty cool. Flat bill for $32 and a beanie for $25. I actually had won this beanie in a giveaway, and I was looking for it today so I could show it off, but it is a very cool hat for the winter time. It is very warm. And I know is that the flat bill just curved? Or is that a curved bill?
I think it was a curved bill.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't remember because I curved.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. I think it might have been curved already, but not for sure.
Yeah. I'm really digging the leather patch one though.
Yeah, it's really cool. And those caddies are nice. Like the woodwork on it is so nice.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Yeah, those are a lot of fun to make. I make them with my CNC machine.
Very nice.
And then sometimes you get caddies from places with using that CNC. You don't have like the dimple mark at the bottom.
No, yeah, because usually you just use like a drill press with a hole saw on there.
Right.
Yeah, with the CNC, it just uses a those are all basically the whole thing. Anything that's recessed uses a 1/4 inch end mill router bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just, it goes in there and it does a circle, and then it goes, and then it just starts going across that circle like this, and then it sort of does a perimeter again, and it goes back down further through it. It's cool to watch it do it for sure. It's neat.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then we've got some t-shirts, short sleeve and long sleeve. Short sleeve for $25. That's actually the one I'm wearing, and it's one of the most comfortable shirts I own, t-shirt wise.
Love hearing that.
Very soft and comfortable.
You know what's cool about that is I am also wearing the most comfortable shirt right now because Chris uses the same shirts that we do. So if you like ours, you'll like Chris's, and vice versa.
Cool. And then we've got the long sleeve for $30.
New long sleeve coming soon too. New and improved.
Cool. And then we have some hooded sweatshirts, pullover hoodie for $50, and a zip hoodie for $55. I like the skulls down the sleeve. There's also one with the skulls down the sleeve that's a pullover as well.
Yep. Yeah, I love those. Those are fun to design.
Well, I believe that's all I have.
Do you make the shirts in the shop or?
Nope, we don't screen. No, we there's a friend, a guy we met down the road at Nocturnal Prints, and he does all the screen printing for us.
Okay.
It's tough though because there's me involved, which is always a roadblock. So I gotta like buy 18 different models of shirt and 10 different hoodies that we then donate somewhere. But yeah. I end up going through a lot of them, wearing them for a couple of days. I'm like, this one's good, but I just don't like the zipper. It's too dry feeling. It catches too much. So it's like, I nitpick everything to death. That's just what I do.
But then you end up with a good product as well.
You do. Sometimes it takes a little long to get there, but when you're there, it's a nice place to be.
And
Yep.
Mike was asking a question when we were talking about the leather products. That's a pretty much a standard item, not a special.
Yep, it's going to be there to stay, and as long as Jacob at Jacked Up Leatherwork wants to keep making them, we'll keep doing it.
Cool.
He's a talented man.
Yes. And for everybody who's asking, we do have him scheduled on the show at the beginning of September.
Awesome. I'll be there for that one.
I know we've had a lot of requests to have him.
He's actually working on a project for me. Can't wait.
He does some
Oh.
good stuff.
Interesting.
So I think we had a couple other questions earlier. Because is kind of wondering about IT or cybersecurity or another form of IT. He said he knows that you do that, but what kind of got you into the beer company product, and are you still in the IT business?
So yeah, question statement one, yes, you're correct. Question one, I was working for a big consulting agency back in 2014, and we decided to part ways, and I would take over some of their contracts. At that time, it was doing network architecture and building out large data centers for big insurance, regionally big insurance companies, and that sort of thing. And so I did, and that was right around the time. Just the last time I shaved was September 2012. 2012, 13, 14. 14 comes along, and I'm starting to get to like the point. I'll be honest, I didn't even know there was like a beard world community of products and people that knew that was better. That was stuff that you could buy at the store. I was in that spot like myself. And that's when I met with my old apothecary buddy. I'm like, I don't think my skin likes having a beard. And he's like, exactly, skin. And so we built the rough outlines of our first formula, and it worked. The stuff with any kind of fragrance oil in it made my problems worse. So I'm like, oh boy, I'm going to have to shave my beard. And then we made this kind of the rough sort of underpinnings of what's now our carrier blend, and it worked. And my red spots went away, and it stopped itching, and I stopped getting beard drift, and I wasn't getting red and rashy. And so I said, you know what? Okay, if I can't be the only one with this problem. I can't use fragrance oils. My skin naturally just doesn't like having a beard. And so, we, I was basically like, I can't be the only one that's going through this, and let's make something out of it. And I have some time because I'm not at an agency anymore. That's kind of what I was saying earlier. I said, all right, I'm going to take data center network architecture consulting and cybersecurity, and I'll start up a consulting firm, and I'll do that. And then I'll also do the beard product along with it and build it, get it going, brand it, and whichever one pays the bills first is what I'm going to focus on. And so, surprise, surprise, data center architecture and cybersecurity definitely paid the bills a lot quicker than the beard products were at the time. And so I moved on and focused on that for a few years, and didn't do much except for ship like 4 orders a month to the people that found it when I first started it and liked it. And yeah, I'm still into it. I'm one of 2 founders of a cybersecurity software company called Interasec, where we like to say that we keep big banks off the front pages of newspapers. And so then there's also Moonrock Consulting still. And I kind of balance my time consulting there and mapping out cybersecurity models for data center networks for banks and the healthcare industry. And so we own, it's technically 3 different companies now, and I'm 25% owner of the software stuff, and I own the entirety of the consulting business. And Jill and I own Dr. Nick's together. But yeah, that's still in it. That's how it started.
If you wouldn't mind, if you remember the story, could you tell the story about negotiating with Russians that stole data from a hostel or a bank? Or something?
It's hard to remember which one. I'm working on two more of those at the same time right now. Recent ones.
Well, the key point that I recall was how nice they were negotiating.
These people are fantastic. Like I even have an assigned service agent there now. So when I get a new company that's locked up and I call into the number that I already have in my phone, they're like, "Oh, is this Nick? Okay, hold on. Let us get you over to so and so." So it's like they're very pleasant. They're way nicer than calling your utility company. They're helpful. They're informative.
And these are people that have broken the law.
Oh yeah. These are people who have just committed any number of federal crimes. And my partner company has an actual ransom negotiator who knows all the insurance and cybersecurity insurance companies. So he negotiates with them, and we collectively work with the attackers. One of the ones, just like 4 months ago, the funniest one, I guess, was like about a year and a half ago. There's this guy who made teeth implants. And he had like a bunch of dentists that used him to, make these, laser cut teeth. And he got hit, and they were in his system so long that they had their own CPA go through all of his books, so they knew exactly how much money he had, what he had in reserves, how much he could pay. So they analyzed his full financials. They were in there long enough to do that, and then encrypt everything. And they wanted $10 million out of him as this little 20-person company. He ended up paying his way out. He got out for like $8. I think they got him for like $8 million.
Jeez.
It's crazy. It's a crazy world out there. It's like, and the reason we're losing is the people we're fighting don't have jobs doing what they're doing. They have a culture, right? They have a lifestyle. It's like their whole family and friends live and breathe doing this. And it's like, it's their livelihood, right? So like us, it's a lot of the people who are doing security of these places that you see in the news. That's a 8 to 5 salary employee who comes in at 10:30 and leaves at 4. That guy's only going to care so much, and that guy's not going to beat the people who live and breathe this stuff from other countries. Can't win.
Had you seen the movie Beekeeper? The Beekeeper?
No.
What's
It
that?
sounds really familiar, though.
It's fairly new, within the last couple of years, but basically he goes after these scam artists. Like these scams that kind of go after elderly on their computers, like they'll flash a virus in there, and
that's the guy on YouTube. That guy that goes after him, like the vigilante hacktivist. Yeah. Okay, and they made a movie about him. Look at that.
Yeah.
And those hacktivist guys are it's a funny world that we live in, a world where you can literally be a hacktivist, right?
Right.
That's crazy.
And because it's getting in the IT world.
Hell yeah.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations on your A+.
Hell yeah, man.
But good job, man.
CIA. Yeah, they're like they issue like industry standard certifications. So it's like it just as you're trying to move up, it ensures the people that you're working with, you at least have some level of quantifiable skill in that space.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun, dude. Those guys that take over the cameras and they get the guys to go outside, and oh man, it's a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Give it back to them. Yeah, it's not getting any better. That's for sure. My schedule is not getting closer and closer. It's getting further and further out.
Yeah. Well, anyone else in the chat? Any other questions?
Yeah, because Dr. Nick's old. He's got to get up early in the morning.
A hard worker, man. How many businesses do you have? 3?
Yeah, so three running businesses and a real estate kind of holding company that we keep our commercial properties and stuff in. So it's like doing all that and keeping track of making the SBA happy and all those sorts of things. That's kind of like a job in its own. But yeah, 3.
Yeah.
Two of them at least have other people a part of it, and the other one does not. Moonrock is all just me, and it can, this time of year, it's like it gets busy.
We already did that one, Jason.
Yeah, I went to unstar it and it popped up instead.
San Marco banana flavor.
And he's asking what you're drinking.
Oh, I'm drinking. I don't even know. It's been a long week.
You're like, I don't know what's in there.
It's a long week.
I know what it's doing, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Dude, same. I've been dealing with insurance companies after that old lady hit me for like 2 weeks now. It's no fun.
Oh man.
Don't worry, she didn't hit the K5. No one panic. It's fine. She's fine.
How did you come up with the logo?
So
Carry type deal, right?
yeah. So in my mind, I was like picturing the guy out of like the covered wagon in the old West, with like the voodoo serums and stuff that he collected from the woods of Alabama. You know what I mean? Or Louisiana. So it's like that. It was that kind of a thing. So I kind of wanted it to be I wanted it to be classy, a little bit of apothecary feel to it, very clinical, prescriptive. But I also wanted it to be a little witch doctory, because I kind of felt like a little bit of a witch doctor coming up with stuff that worked, that didn't burn my skin. And I was like, wow, I made something that actually you can put on yourself and make life better. So it was kind of that. I was already a doctor of time and space at that point. So I figured, why not Wiccan the witch doctor part of it and all that sort of thing. So
You should put like a little kiosk in Salem.
that'd be awesome. Actually, it would blend right in too, like especially with the new label with the little skull on there, our little guy.
Well, this October, end of October, actually the week of Halloween, I'm going to be in Boston. So I'll definitely try to link up with you. And I'm going to link
absolutely.
up with Chris and Tara as well.
I'll
be there for a conference, but
that'd be sweet if we could figure it out where it's like Jill and I come down with Chris and Tara, meet you somewhere kind of halfway, like they come down a bit, we go up a bit and meet you in the middle. That'd be sweet. I'd be totally into that.
So, if nobody else has anything else, I think we're going to wind down the stream. Thanks for joining us for another great episode of The Bearded Respect. Make sure to tune in next week. We have another amazing show. We have Luxurious Bastard coming on.
I love that name.
yeah. But yeah, thanks Nick for coming on the show.
Yes.
Appreciate
it.
Heck yeah, thanks for having me, guys. This was great, and like I say, it's like a family / Tuesday reunion here. It's like a deja vu in the chat. So it was great getting to meet you guys and hang out a bit and seeing all our friends. This was fantastic. What better way to spend a Thursday night? Thank you.
Well, thanks. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
And Jill, thanks for answering questions in the chat as well.
Yeah.
She just can't help being awesome all the time, so that's just what she does.
I mean, we know that you're the one behind the business.
And that this is recorded, so that's, hey, here I am. Yeah. All right, guys.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Night. Catch you
Good
next
night.
Thursday.